Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest, really excited for, a former Hollywood filmmaker turned cattle ranch cowhand turned author, Renaissance man, whatever you want to call him. His book, The Legacy Letters, has won awards in both fiction and nonfiction categories. We're still trying to figure that part out. We welcome Carew Papritz to our author spotlight this morning with more on his fascinating novel. Carew, welcome to the program. Great to have you here.
John, it's good to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Tell me all about this brand new book. You say it's kind of a Tuesdays with Maury, kind of a chicken soup for the soul, kind of conglomeration, but it's really got a positive message, and people really seem to be flocking to it.
Yeah, it's at its heart. Well, first of all, I want to say welcome. This is great to be in Charleston.
Yeah.
My wife went to Goose Creek, so I definitely need to say a shout out.
There you go.
So anyhow, it's great to be here. But so at its heart, the Legacy Letters is a series of letters written by this father who would never live to see his children.
Wow.
And it becomes their practical, moral, and spiritual guidebook for the rest of their lives. But it's more than just a book. It's sort of this declaration of living life to its fullest. So within these letters of wisdom, he's trying to just say, hey, the most important thing, whatever I tell you, is live life passionately and as fully as possible.
It's a great lesson to learn. You yourself are an interesting character. A lot of people calling you a modern-day Renaissance man. Tell me about how your kind of journey from Hollywood to the cattle ranch to some other things kind of helped you write this book and kind of guide you along in the author process.
Well, someone asked me, well, what was the inspiration behind your book? And I said, well, that was easy because I had a early midlife crisis, and basically decided to leave behind the glitz and glamour and the 24/7 lifestyle of Hollywood and get back to my roots. My granddad had a ranch when I was growing up, and I said, you know what? It's time to get back and find out what's important in life, and that's where I started. I started actually writing this book on the back of the pickup.
Wow.
Under lantern light, working as a cowboy, and it was amazing. I mean, this was sort of one of those God-given jobs that said, this is what you're going to be doing for the next 5 years, and it worked.
And critics are loving the book. I mean, you're going to accept an award today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I'm humbled, and I'm shocked, and I'm amazed, and especially by people's personal responses to it. That's what I recently just had I was at a book signing. A mother and son came up, and I said, hey, what do you think about this book? She says, oh, this is really interesting. I said, hey, pick it up, read one page. She does. He reads another page, and they both had the same effect, that this is a book that I need for to take home to other people. So,
yeah, absolutely. Is that kind of the best thing about writing a book like this, is that people are going to share it, take life lessons, but then share it on with other people and try and improve the lives of others?
Yeah, that's...
Is that kind of the goal as an author when you were writing this book on that pickup
No,
trip?
you write this book you're in your own world, and you're just giving yourself to the book, and then it comes out, and then that baby goes out in the world. It's on its own.
Huh.
And I'm shocked. The other day, so when I'm flying around doing these interviews and whatnot, I gave the book to this gal, and she was reading it, and she was crying, and she was laughing, and she was going for about half an hour. And I said, why such a strong response? She says, I need to give this to my father, this letter to my father, this letter to my son, this letter, I need to send this to my son. It was a list.
Wow.
So that type of response just
That's got to be a great thing. What do you think about the nickname you've been given of the cowboy philosopher? Is that something you kind of believe in?
Yeah. Someone said, how do you become a cowboy philosopher? And I said, well, you ride your horse all day long, you stare at the stars, you think, then you go write a book about it, and that's how you become. No, what's fascinating is I worked with these old cowboys, and they are all philosophers. I mean, you do have time to think. Even though you're working hard, you're out there, and it's just sort of the wildness and the bigness of the world that you live in, and the life and death struggle you deal with the animals and even yourselves. I mean, you're in harsh conditions, and so it's it's fascinating. But a cowboy philosopher, I take that with a grain of salt, but not a bad thing to be.
There you go. So how do we lead a legacy life? That is the question.
Stop. Give yourself the gift of time. I mean, when we think about time, time's the greatest currency in our life. And we're only given so much of it. So I say to people, look, let's try to find a moment that has this sense of happiness and purpose and meaning, even if it's simple as, hey, I'm going to have a cup of coffee, call a friend up I haven't talked to in a while, read to my child, whatever it is, string a bunch of these moments together, and all of a sudden we're creating a good way of living.
We're going to
yeah.
take your advice because unfortunately we have to stop. But that is all the information you need for this fantastic book, and read more about this fantastic man right there at thelegacyletters.com. Carew, thanks so much for spending some time.
Thank you.
Really
appreciate
do
it.
appreciate it.